There's a couple of stories where I would like to share. One in particular, on our second day of distributing the food packages and food items to the families, we saw a very large family. There was at least 5 or 6 children. Their parents had died in the attacks in Syria. They were being looked after by their single grandmother, and she had the duty of looking after these 6 children. There's one particular girl that I spoke to when I went into their home, and we had distributed the food packages, and I was speaking to the girl. Now, for me, was this was quite emotional, because I asked the young girl in Arabic that where are your parents, and she replied, "They're in Jannah, they're in paradise." This was quite emotional for me because the first response and the innocence that we could see in their eyes when she replied, "They're in paradise." This was quite common throughout my journey. Every single individual had a member who had passed away. Children had both of the parents killed, or one of the parents had been murdered or been killed in the attacks. And these children, no more than 4 or 5, they did not know the situation, or they weren't aware of what was really happening. And when you've spoken to some of these children, the second thing that they would say, and something which was quite prominent in the trip, when I asked them, "What do you miss from Syria? What do you miss the most?" And they said they miss their families in Syria. They miss playing in the playgrounds, in the school playgrounds in Syria. They miss that environment in Syria. You see, before 2011, if some of you had the opportunity of visiting Syria, Syria was such a beautiful country. But unfortunately, now what we've seen is Syria divided. We've seen the infrastructure destroyed. Schools have been destroyed. Hospitals have been destroyed. Nobody has an opportunity to go out during the day. They're in fear their lives might be at risk. So some of these are stories that we'd seen and we'd hear when we visited some of the camp areas and some of the homes in which some of the Syrian refugees were living in.